Several videos have circulated on Chinese social media during October showing Chinese citizens courageously protesting against a dictatorship and calling for democracy. On October the 19th, a retired man in Qingdao City, Shandong Province, hung American, British and Australian flags on his balcony. He videotaped himself giving a speech on the balcony and asked everyone to help spread the video. Many policemen and police cars can be seen on the street below.
违法的是他们啊！那录吧，我叫谁双生，维权人谁双生啊！你们录吧，录了请你们转发，就为了我挂个国旗啊！来了这么多的公安、城管，他们口口说不违法，怎么了？民主万岁！董小平怎么和美国领导人鼓着脖子搂着腰啊？为什么说和美国人关系好的人和美国关系好的国家都服了，懂不懂？2000年10日小康一个都不能少，我到了2000年10月份没有公领了，叫他们被强奸了，你们犯法，对吧？只允许你们啊点风是吧？放火，我维权，60岁以上的老人犯过错，公领全部归零，这是什么文件？这是灭绝人性的文件，懂不懂？你要叫我们死，我们要说句话，你明天可以捏造很多罪名把我抓起来，可是我要把抓起来的真相传到全国，传到全世界，好不好？谢谢转发啊！愤怒的人民不再恐惧，不要害怕，有话就要说出来。民主万岁，独裁必亡。
Netizens with knowledge of the matter revealed that Mr. Sui spent several years in prison on trumped-up charges because he exposed a local developer who had bribed officials in charge of land development. After he was released from prison, his supervisors at work were dissatisfied with him and had his work credits reset to 0, which means that he won't be able to collect any pension for the rest of his life. He Fangmei is the mother of a paralysed, vaccine-injured daughter. She's been petitioning government authorities asking them to hold the vaccine manufacturers accountable and help the injured children get treatment and compensation. But instead of getting help, she is constantly harassed and threatened by the authorities. On October the 2nd, as a way of protest, she splashed ink on the door plates of her local county government.
看看啊，我女儿1秒自残了啊！2018年到现在啊，我为女儿做了啊！地方政府不但不负责，还不让我孩子去自辩啊，关了我10个月啊！这样的政府存在的价值还有什么意义了啊？过来啊！我告你妈个闭住老子来！这样的政府存在还有什么价值了？你干什么呀？哼！到这儿来，到站着，这，看我。 看看啊！我10月2号没有人了，讲究我孩子的问题。看看啊，没有人讲究我孩子的问题啊！
哎呀，我日呀！
An elderly woman in Wuhan tries to remove the sign plate from the Qiaokuo district government compound.
哎，你不搬烂，那是搞一下过的。
别把人家打的了。
It's unknown whether the cause of the woman's grievance has to do with a relative dying of the CCP virus, or whether her family is being persecuted by the regime in some other way.
The Global Service Center for Quitting the CCP initiated a campaign in June, calling for people all over the world to sign an online petition, Eliminate the Demon Chinese Communist Party. As of October 27th, more than 160,000 people have signed the petition. 4 months ago, the Global Service Center for Quitting the CCP launched a website called endccp.com and initiated the petition campaign. The petition letter enumerated the CCP's history of murder after it seized power in China, such as the Cultural Revolution 1966 to 1976, the one-child policy, and forced abortion. the massacre of pro-democracy students in Tiananmen Square in 1989, the suppression of Hong Kong protesters in recent years, the persecution of Falun Gong that began in 1999, and the cover-up of the CCP virus outbreak. This pandemic could have been prevented if the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, did not lie. Yet, ever since it took over China, hundreds of millions of people have been suffering from its endless deceptions and brutality. The demon CCP has plundered the ancient land of China, and now its terror has spread globally, affecting everyone. It is time for all of us to reject its evil work and put an end to the Chinese Communist Party. The petition letter in 16 languages calls for everyone with conscience to put an end to the CCP's atrocities and to the CCP itself. Wang Qing, a Chinese national living in the United States, says that one of the CCP's evil manifestations is to restrict freedom of speech.
Even for overseas Chinese like myself, I have no freedom of speech because whenever I post any sensitive issues on Twitter, Chinese police will harass my family in China. Take the novel coronavirus, for example. I'm not certain about the origin of the virus, but only if Dr. Li Wenliang had the freedom of speech to inform the public. If he had not been admonished by the police, or if the Chinese authorities had taken timely measures to stop it from spreading, the pandemic would not have been so widespread as it is now.
After the proposal was posted online, people of different ethnicities signed the petition letter and left messages every day. Yang Guirong, a volunteer at the Global Service Center for Quitting the CCP, collected signatures for the End CCP campaign at Corona Park in Queens, New York, on the afternoon of October 11th. More than 20 Hispanic young people signed to support the campaign.
Many non-Chinese have also come to declare their stance, as they know that communism has already affected Canada, including the country's political power, political parties and society. They want to get rid of the evilness of communism. Actually, those governments, organizations and individuals who agree with the communist ideology are also evil. So I think people who sign the petition are declaring their stance in the face of righteousness and evil. They are making a statement as to what kind of person they are.
Yi Rong, chairman of the Global Service Center for Quitting the CCP, told the Epoch Times that in just a few months, the petition has been endorsed by so many people, even though there were no advertisements and social media has strict restrictions on the spreading of such petitions. It is a clear indication that people all over the world dislike the CCP. Wang Yunbo, a volunteer at the service center, said that before the CCP virus outbreak, the international community did not have a deep understanding of the evilness of the CCP, and pro-CCP groups acted aggressively to help the CCP do evil deeds in Western countries. Now the situation is completely different. After the Chinese consulate in Houston was ordered to close, those pro-CCP groups no longer dare to do evil at will.
The CCP bribes people to gain their support. These people are also the ones writing the fence. On one hand, they want to enjoy the free environment in the United States. On the other hand, they want to gain the benefits from the CCP. But when people all over the world have seen through the evil nature of the CCP, when the United States is cleaning up the CCP's infiltration and influence, you will find that even though the CCP still uses money to hire people to support it, few people are willing to do such things for the CCP.
U.S. Senator Scott Perry said, "I think that's a great message. I don't think the Communist Party of China is just going to fold up and walk away willingly there. It's a criminal organization that has taken control of a country. They're not going to leave of their own accord. They're going to have to be forced out of authority and out of power one way or another." At the same time, more Chinese people have joined the tide to quit the CCP and its affiliated organizations.
Now that the U.S. government has proposed to prohibit entry or immigration of CCP members, we have found that the number of phone inquiries on our Quitting CCP hotline has increased over 100 times.
Liu Dawei, a Chinese businessman in China, hopes that those who are still being hoodwinked by the CCP will spend some effort to find out why so many people are criticizing the CCP. There are even people within the CCP system who are also criticizing the CCP. Those who are being hoodwinked should think it over. In the past 70 years, what has the CCP brought to the Chinese people? What has the CCP brought to the world?